Yeah, so first of all, I want to say this video might be, a bit disjointed because I've been having some issues with the software. I don't know if it's a software, I don't know if it's YouTube taking me off air. I don't know what's going on, but it keeps closing down. So because of that, I do have a bit of an issue here. So I may have to break it up, put it in parts, and I'll re-upload it as a video like I did the last time. But yeah, also this is an interactive live stream, so if you want to join in, you want to say your piece, you're more than welcome to do so, my friend. You're more than welcome to come in and say your piece, man, on this lovely Monday evening. So yeah, I want to get back to men and why men should leave the West. I want to give some more reasons. This will probably be my second and final video on this unless I get some new ideas about it. But I did speak about sexism in the last one. And sexism, we do experience sexism in the West. Maybe I'll touch on that a bit more. But I didn't touch on ageism. Ageism. That's an interesting one, ain't it, guys? Ageism. I didn't touch on it. But it exists. It exists, man. We do it. Like, everyone knows, like, when you get to a certain age as a man, if you're not making a dough, if you're not making good dough, if you don't have good money, it's over for you in the dating scene. Let's keep it real, man. If you're not making good money at a certain age, you're pretty much toast in the dating scene, man. That's how it is now. So, ageism, it doesn't exist in other countries. I mean, in other countries it's commonplace. In everywhere outside of the West, it's commonplace for women to date and marry much older men. It's commonplace. It's not an issue. They don't look at it like, in this society, if you're 40, 45 years old and you want a woman in her 20s, oh, you're a creep, you're a freak. It's like we got all these unwritten laws in the West. Like, typically you don't see an age difference more than 5 years. It's difficult to get a chick that's 5 years younger than you. A lot of guys in their 40s and late 30s are experiencing that. I mean, it's difficult. Ageism is something you have to put up with. I mean, both genders put up with it, but let's be honest, women have a time where they can really cash in. Men is different. I mean, we don't really cash in like that. But I know a lot of people think that a man's prime is in his 50s, but that's only if you got money, though. And most of you guys don't have money, so to say a man's prime is in his 50s, well, you can extend your prime. I'd say a man's prime is in his 30s, because at that point he's had enough time to establish himself, but he's also not getting into that bracket of where he's experiencing a lot of ageism. Because once you get to your 40s, you're going to experience a lot of ageism. I mean, you may have to go to, you got that one guy on that show, Fiance, 90 Day Fiance, this guy called Michael. He got with this Brazilian chick, and he's like 42 years old. The dude is loaded, The dude is loaded, bro. He drives a Ford GT, a $400,000 car. He was in the wine business, right? In the wine business, and he was on a yacht. I think he said a yacht with like celebrities on there. He was on a yacht with celebrities, and that's where he met this one Brazilian, model. I don't know if she's a real model or just a self-proclaimed. A lot of these, they're not even real models. But that's where he met this one Brazilian girl. And she was 22 years old. But I mean, with the money that this guy has, I think she was 22. She was in her early 20s anyway. But with the money that this guy has, I mean, I'm making an assumption, I don't know if this is true. Maybe he just wanted a non-Western woman. But I'm making an assumption that even with the money that this guy has, and he ain't even that old, he looks older, but he's like 42, 43 years old. He had to go and meet some foreign women, and he had status. He was, on a yacht with celebrities. That's what he said. I mean, he had status, and money. But, I'm assuming that he couldn't even get a 22-year-old girl in America, even though he was a multimillionaire and was on a yacht with celebrities. I don't know how true that was, but, I mean, so that's the thing. I mean, ageism is rife in the Western society. I mean, it works both ways. It's not just older men over 40 that experience ageism, though. Younger men also experience ageism. Younger men also have to put up with ageism, because as a younger man, you're looked at as a baby. You're not looked at as a serious option by women. Women say, oh, he's just, he's a baby. I see this. You guys have seen. You guys have probably encountered it. A woman's a few years older than you. You're a baby. A woman's a few years younger than you. Oh, why are you going for a woman under 20? Let's say you're 24 years old and you go for an 18-year-old. Oh, why are you going for a woman who's 18? Go for a chick your own age. It's like, what do you mean? It's better. But that's the thing. That's the thing in this Western society. There's a lot of ageism. And it just doesn't exist in other cultures. If you're an older man, by expatriating, by leaving the West, you're not going to have to put up with ageism anymore. You're not going to have to put up with ageism anymore. And that's a great thing. That's a great reason to leave the West. Because yes, there's sexism, but there's also ageism. I don't want to have to deal with ageism when I get to a certain age. Now, if you've got money, if you've got money, you can extend that period where you are in your prime. Some of you guys are in your prime right now. You still can't get any females, which is shocking to me. That's shocking to me. Because when I first came across this group of people online who complained about not getting women, I thought it was only like guys who were like 19, 20, 21, young guys who were just finding their way in the world. And, but when I realized that there were guys in their 30s, in their prime, 33, 35, who still can't get women, that men in their 30s actually struggle with this issue, I had no idea. I thought this was an old man problem. Sorry, a young man problem. I knew there were like guys in their 50s, but I mean, it's shocking to me that you guys are in your prime years and you still can't get any women, bro. That is shocking to me. But you're not gonna get any women, because if you can't get any women in your 30s, let's say you're 33, 35, I'm sorry, man, it's over for you. It's already over, because you're in your prime years. When you're in your 30s, you're not experiencing ageism, because you're not too young, you're not too old. When you get to like 43, 45, you're starting to look as an old man. When you're 23, 25, you're looked at as a baby. But when you're 33, 35, you're looked at as, the right age. A lot of women who are in their mid-20s are dating and marrying guys who are 32, 33, 34, 35 years old. They're not marrying guys who are 25. So, some of you guys are in that position where, you're going to have to really expatriate. I mean, you're going to have to do it if you want to have a dating life. Now, if you're 100% MGTOW, or some like to call it MGTOW monk, That's different. But I'm talking about the guys who want to have a dating life. I'm talking about guys who want to have a dating life. If you want to have a dating life and you're 35 years old, you can't get no woman, it's over for you in the West. You have to expatriate, otherwise you're going to be in cell forever. I'm not trying to make fun of you, guys, but that's the truth, though. You know, you can come out of that at 23, 25, but you're not coming out at 35, 37 years old. You know, it's over for you. I mean, I'm talking about the guys who can't get anything. You know? I'm talking about those guys. Don't men peak later because a girl in college can go on Tinder and find a dude in his 30s that has a car apartment, like she can ignore all the broke uni guys around her to go to this dude? Yeah, she can do that. You know? Which is why you can understand that a lot of men in their 20s are struggling. Why do you think I don't make videos bashing men in their 20s? I don't bash men in their 20s because it's hard in your 20s. It's not that hard in your 30s. Don't listen to these guys who tell you it's hard in your 30s. It's hard in their 30s because they're a loser. 30s is your prime years. That's when you're going to get women for the most part. You know, these guys are lying to you. And that's why I go against this community, because they're lying to you, telling you that it's hard in your 30s. No, it's not hard in your 30s. Because they're the ones who's taking most of the women in their 20s. You know, that's the truth. You know, the reality is some people just can't compete in this society, man. That's the reality. Some people will not be able to compete in this society, and that's why they have to expatriate. You have to. Now, I want to touch on some other topics here. You know, so what we're seeing in today's society, okay, is an increase of socialism. Some say communism, some say Marxism. You know what? I'm not an expert on these philosophies, I don't even know if they're philosophies, but whatever they are. I'm not an expert on these. Okay? But what you're going to realize in the Western society is that men are doing all the work in society. Okay? Men do all of the work. You might say, well, women are working. Yeah, women are working, but they don't work the hours that men work, though. Let's be real and honest with it. The hours that women work, women are the ones doing 40-hour-a-week jobs. You know, like 40-hour-a-week, 36 hours. You look at any of the jobs like doctors, surgeons, those guys in the tech industry, the gaming industry, programming, tech, all that stuff. These guys, it's mainly guys that are doing the 70, 80-hour-a-week jobs, you know, and men are paying the majority of the taxes as well. I mean, that's already been covered extensively in the manosphere. But with UBI on the horizon, you got frauds like Andrew Yang, the guy who was running for the Democratic Party. He wanted to become president, which I think he's going to have a good push next election. You know, he's still very young, but he is pushing for universal basic income, and he's lying to the people. He's saying he's going to get the corporations to pay for it. That's a lie. The big corporations are never going to pay for it. They don't even pay their taxes. How in the hell are you going to get the big corporations to pay for UBI when they don't even pay their taxes, bro? It's a lie. It's like what Robert Kiyosaki said. The rules are written for the rich, and that ain't going to change. That ain't going to change. The rules always going to be written for the rich. You know who's going to pay for UBI? You're going to pay for it. Not the guys who sit at home and play Call of Duty all day. The people who want to do the self-improvement, who want to actually make some good money in the West. You're going to have to pay for UBI. That's what's coming. You're going to pay for it. You know? Especially, they're going to try to tax the small business owners more. You know? It's all part of the plan to get rid of small businesses. They want to tax you to oblivion to justify UBI so that you go out of business. That's what they want to do. Really and truly, that's what they want to do. That's on the cards, man. And the thing is, if you want to make money in this society, I mean, it's all well and good if if you know what you're doing, if you know, how to, put your money in different offshore bank accounts and business register your business in other countries and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not nomad capitalist, I'm no expert in this, but I mean, as you start to make more money, you're gonna have to try to find out how are you gonna stop paying those taxes, because it's gonna go through the roof. I know it's gonna go through the roof because the government, the money comes from us. So if they're gonna need money, who are they gonna get it from? Now, it's all well and good saying, well, there's gonna be 50% unemployment. Yeah, there's gonna be 50% unemployment, and you're gonna be working. If you follow what I'm saying, you're gonna be making money, but they're gonna tax you to oblivion. You're gonna be paying for all these morons, all these clowns who sit at home. And I'm not talking about people who want to work. I'm not bashing people who want to work but been laid off. I'm talking about people like these guys I talk about on YouTube who don't want to work. They don't want to work. They want to sit there and watch anime and play video games. And you're paying for them in this socialist society. So I hate those stupid socialists on YouTube who claim this is not a socialist society. It's a socialist society. They give so much money away. I mean, it's not 100% socialist, but it has a lot of socialist aspects. I mean, why are we giving money away to people who don't even have a real disability? Disability benefits. Disability benefits should be people who went to war and lost their leg, or people who were doing hard labor and broke their back or something like. Why giving disability benefits to some moron who doesn't want to work because he can't get laid? And there's thousands of people out there like they don't deserve any money. But who's paying for that? It's going to be, now you could say, well, everybody's paying for it, but it's not. It's going to be, you're going to pay more because everybody else going to be unemployed. So you got to find a way. Okay, how am I going to now not pay for these people? And expatriating is an option. Expatriating. If they tell me that I'm going to have to pay for their universal bill, I'll renounce my citizenship. I'll tell you, go to hell. I'm not paying for that crap. I'm not paying for that crap. At the end of the day, I work my ass off. Why should you work your ass off to pay for some losers? I'm making money in the stock market at 18. Does that count as a small business? Well, I mean, small business is really a legal term. I mean, you can count anything as a... Depends on, all that is just how you look at it, your perception of it. But, yeah, anything can be a small business. Are you registered with the government, as a business? I mean, that's one factor. If you're with the government, if you're registered as a business, then you're a business. I don't know much about the stock market. I don't do that, but you can be. But that the word doesn't really matter if you're a small business or not. That's not the most important thing, But yeah, I mean, they're gonna want us to pay for all this stuff, and it's wrong. It's wrong. I mean, the Western society, like, socialism is not good for men. Because what you gotta understand is that the most majority work is done by the men. So if the most majority work is done by the men, why would an ideology that doesn't value the amount of work that you do, why would that ideology benefit men? It doesn't. It doesn't benefit men. It goes back to how there's a lot of sexism in the Western society. And sexism in the Western society, the West is like the worst place for men, but what you gotta understand is that it's the best place for women. Women don't have the option to expatriate. This is what you don't understand, that expatriation is only really a male option, because if women go to those other countries, they're not benefiting. How are they benefiting? A lot of women go to those other countries and they get, sexually harassed. A lot of women go to those other countries. They're not going to get put on a pedestal. In those societies are more male dominated. They're more male dominated than this modern Western society. So, you know, expatriation is a male option. Some females go over there. I saw one video, women were complaining about, you know, they don't have a dating life out there. You know, a lot of women don't have a dating life out there because the men out there are very poor. You know, the men out there are very poor, and, you know, they can't give the women the kind of what they want. I mean, you know, a lot of the men out there are very short in Asia. I mean, if you're a taller Western woman, you're 5'7", you're 5'8". Majority of guys over there are 5'3", 5'4". You know, you don't, they don't really have much options out there. You know, they don't have much options out there in those countries because, you know, I mean, women ain't gonna get that. What they're getting in the dating scene here, they're not gonna get that out there in Asia. If a woman goes into Thailand or Vietnam or somewhere like that, they don't. You know, women don't have much dating options out there. A lot of women are desperate. A lot of Western women that go out there, they're desperate. You know, a lot of you guys don't know that, but that's the truth. They don't have much options out there, man. You know, because this society does not benefit men. It doesn't. I mean, I'm not saying those societies are perfect. Listen, there's no perfect society. There's no utopia. But you got to look at it from the perspective of you're a single man. You got the options to do this stuff. You know, if you had a wife and kids, bro, you are finished. You know, you can't do this stuff. That's why being a single man, and you got all these guys whining and complaining about being single. Being a single man is a luxury. You know, if you have a wife and kids, that whole stuff is not even on the cards, man. You know, it's not even on the cards, bro. You think every man that is struggling to compete should expatriate? No, I don't think every man who's struggling to compete should expatriate. Not at all. This is for men who are, you know, it's different. Let me go into the categories of men who should expatriate, okay? Because I want to make this clear. Who should expatriate or not? Okay? First of all, if you're a young guy, if you're like under 25 or, yeah, if you're under 25, don't even think about expatriating. Because you don't know, like, there's really no point. I mean, you can ride it out longer. You know, you can ride it out for longer and see where it takes you. Just focus on your money, man. That's what I would have done. Because if I focused on my money from the age of even 20, I mean, I went into business at 21 or 22, I don't remember, but I didn't take it seriously, you know, so I didn't make much money at the beginning, but, you know, just focus on your money at that age, man. Focus on establishing yourself. Now, 25 is still very young, but I think some 25-year-olds may want to start thinking about it. If you're 100% MGTOW, or some call MGTOW monk, you don't really need to expatriate. I mean, MGTOW monk doesn't really need to expatriate, because if you're a MGTOW monk, you know, or 100% MGTOW, I like to call it 100% MGTOW. I don't like the term MGTOW monk. You know, you don't really need to expatriate, because the amount of money that you need to get by isn't that much, because you're never going to get married, you're never going to have kids, you're never going to get divorced. You know, you don't date. So, you know, in terms of your expenses are very low. So you don't you don't need that much money to get by, you know. You can make low end of 6 figures, 100,000, 120,000, 150,000, and have a good life, because you don't need to worry about what a woman thinks. You know? So guys who are 100% MGTOW, they can expatriate if they want, but they don't really need to. Now, if you're a rich man, you don't really need to expatriate either, unless for tax reasons, okay, or unless for just that you prefer to live out there. But even for tax reasons, a lot of people, you know, they go back and forth, because expatriating isn't just a, you know, some people expatriate and never come back, but Then there's people who expatriate that, you know, they're back and forth, you know, it depends. But rich men, if you're making multiple, if you're a multi-millionaire, you don't really need to expatriate either. The people who need to do it are the guys, in particular, who are in their 30s or older, who don't want to make money. If you're not interested in making money, if you're not that like motivated to become rich, or you're not that ambitious, you're gonna have to expatriate if you want a dating life. If you want a dating life, you're gonna have to expatriate, because you're not gonna get any women at 35, 40 years old, especially over 40, if you don't have any ambition, if you don't have any skill, if you don't have any talent, if you don't have any money, if you don't have anything going for you. You're not gonna get any women. You know, it's competitive and you're not competing. So, you know, those guys, the guys I talk about on my channel, all of them should expatriate. And when I say expatriate, I'm not talking about the way hiding in my room does it. Hiding in my room is not, when I say expatriating, you've got to still have a real income. Otherwise you're going to be exploited. Otherwise your life out there is going to be crap. I saw hiding in my room. The guy was sitting on the floor. You know, you're going out to a third world country, but he went out to Japan, which is also stupid. I mean, why would you go out to Japan? You know, Japan is not even, I mean, Japan, they have small houses, you know, I mean, Japan is probably still better than the West, but, I mean, I don't know, man, I just feel like, you know, when I talk about expatriating, I'm talking about third world. I'm not talking about Japan, Korea. I'm not talking about you know, going from USA to Germany or something. That's not. I don't consider that. That's a joke to me. You know, I'm talking about going to Thailand, going to, you know, Eastern Europe, Latvia, or going to South America, you know, Colombia or somewhere like that. That's expatriating to me. You know, I feel like a lot of guys, you know, they're delusional about this thing. And also there's another thing that, you know, I'm seeing, that some guys want to bash, you know, going overseas. Let me tell you something, okay? A lot of these guys who bash going overseas, they bash it because they can't even afford it, number one. You know, and number two, they're dependent on the government. You know, see, the final group of people that will never expatriate and they will bash expatriation is people who are just on government support and they don't want to work. Those people should not expatriate. They should stay here. You know, they should stay here because they're not going to make it out there. They can't make it out there. You're going to have to work, whether it's being an English teacher, whether it's starting up an online business, whether it's freelance, you know, whatever you're doing, you're going to have to do something out there. Being a YouTuber, you're going to have to do something out there, man. You can't just go out there and there's no government support. And that's what I like about that country. You know, you're not paying for a bunch of peasants. You know, these peasants should have to fight for themselves. I mean, you're not paying for people to get by. I mean, yeah, if somebody's working for a day, that's different. But a lot of these guys, you know, they don't want to do anything. A lot of these guys haven't worked for years and they're not trying to get anywhere. They can't expatriate. Those people are stuck here, and those people are going to be miserable forever. You know, you cannot be a man and have no goals, no ambition, no skill, no talent, no work ethic. It's not going to be pleasant for you. You know, but they shouldn't expatriate because they cannot make it out there. So I mean, you know, it's like a lot of people, you know, they say that they're doing something, but they don't even meet the requirements to do it in the first place. They'll say like, you know, for example, I'm MGTOW. They'll say that they're MGTOW, but they don't even meet the requirements to be it in the first place. They just say that they are. You know, it's easy to say that you're something, but it's another thing to actually meet the requirements to be that in the first place. I mean, I don't call myself MGTOW because I don't really meet the requirements to be MGTOW. You know, It's like they don't meet the requirements to go overseas because nobody, they don't have the money. They don't have the money to go overseas. Nobody wants to they cannot even afford a plane ticket, man. They cannot afford to register for a passport. These guys are broke. They're broke down bums who want to bash you for expatriating. I mean, they say, oh, it don't make no difference if you go overseas. Well, it does make a difference, though. It does make a difference. I've mentioned in these two videos why it makes a difference. Anybody that tells you it don't make a difference is delusional. Is delusional. The fact is that I've mentioned it does make a difference. Now, if you're looking for some utopia, then there is no utopia. You're living in Disneyland. You got that Disneyland mentality. That's a term that I coined. If other people start using that, know that came from me. They got that Disneyland mentality, man. They're looking for a utopia. There is no utopia. Yes, the third world has a lot of disadvantages, but ultimately I'd rather be in the third world than be in the first world, because the third world benefits me more than the first world. The first world, if you're very rich or if you have no choice, that's who it benefits, and women. That's who the first world benefits. People who are very rich or people who have no choice. So if you're very rich, you're going to have a blast in the first world. You're going to have a blast. If you're a woman, you're going to have a blast, because even if you're a loser woman, there's nowhere better for you to go. You can't, if you go to another place, you're not going to get all the benefits that you get here as a woman. So there's no real other place for you to go as a woman. If you've got no other choice, you're on government support, then there's no better place for you either. So that leaves us men in the middle. That leaves us men in the middle. We're the lucky ones. We're the lucky ones that aren't married. We're the lucky ones that don't have kids. We have that freedom. So why not exercise your freedom and at least try it? Why not at least try expatriating? I think every man should try it. If they're not rich and they get to their 30s and they're not rich, or if they're not interested in becoming rich, they should try it. I mean, they should really try it, because at the end of the day, you've got the freedom to do so. Why not? You got nothing to lose, really. I mean, I should have done it in 2018, but I was still very young in 2018. But it wasn't an issue. I mean, a lot of these people who bash it, I mean, number one, they've never done it, and number two, a lot of these guys don't have the balls to do it either. I mean, I feel like, this modern day Western society doesn't really benefit men at all. I mean, what benefit, I'm asking people in the chat, there's only 2 people in the chat, but I'm asking people, what benefit does this modern Western society offer to men exclusively? Forget about the fact that it's rich, you got healthcare. Men exclusively, what does it offer to men exclusively? Because it offers a lot to women exclusively. It doesn't offer anything to men exclusively, though. So that goes back to the topic of sexism. I want to think, what does it offer to men exclusively? Rich men have a lot of benefits, but men in general, we're a generation of men raised by women. I'm wondering if another woman is really the answer we need. I don't know about that, man. We are a generation raised by women. If another woman is really the answer we need. Yeah, I mean, that kind of went over my head a bit, man. Can you explain that? Is it talking about dating, or is it saying we don't need to date a woman, or we don't need to have female children? I don't know. But yeah, if you want to have children, I mean, a lot of you guys got bad genetics as well. I mean, a lot of you guys with bad genetics, I mean, you guys with manlet DNA, and you guys with like some of you guys, like, you need to work on your money. I mean, should guys with manlet DNA go to Asia? No, they shouldn't. I mean, they can, but your manlet DNA is going to be more manlet, if you want to have kids. But I have seen ugly guys who've gone to Asia and produced good-looking kids. They may have manlet DNA, but at least their faces is good-looking. I mean, You know, you're gonna need to get a girl with a pretty face. If you got ugly features and you want to reproduce good-looking kids, you know. So that's another reason to expatriate. You can get a girl with a pretty face, but I mean, Asia probably not the place for you. Maybe try Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe will be the place for you, actually, yeah, because they got tall women in Eastern Europe. If you got manlet DNA, go to Eastern Europe and get a Slovakian or some, you know, get a Slovakian or some Eastern European tall model women, and your genetic will be improved. If you want to improve your genetics, I don't really care about that because I don't have these terrible genetics that some of you guys have, you know, really poor genetics. But you know, your genetic line can be improved through, you know, expatriation as well, because you ain't gonna get a tall model in the West unless you got millions. But if you go over there with just a little bit of money, you know, you're gonna get. So it does come down to money. I mean, a lot of you guys want something for free, bro. There ain't nothing for free in this world. It's either you're spending your time or your money, and time is money, you know. So there is nothing for free. Anybody that thinks there's something for free is delusional, you know. Even if you're going out on free dates, right? You're going out on free dates with a girl. You're just walking in the park with a girl, right? You're walking in the park with a girl. That's still money because you're spending your time. So, you know, there is no such thing as free. You know, that's a fantasy. A lot of you guys are delusional. Obviously, it's better to be. It's less expensive than if you're using your time and money, but it's still not free. You know. I mean, what do you mean? What happened, Jack? Nothing happened, man. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I'm just doing this stream, man. I'm trying to drop the knowledge on people, man. You know, to drop the knowledge. But I got a question for you, Jack, anyway. My question for you, Jack, is what benefits does the Western society offer to men exclusively? Exclusively. What benefits? I can't think of any. You think broke chads get women like what incels think? I don't know any broke chads. I mean, you know, the chad is, where are these chads? I don't see any. Where are they? I don't see any chads. I don't know where these guys live. I mean, you make over 1K a week on unemployment. Bro, why are you unemployed? You know, 1K a week is not a lot of money, bro. Are you going to live on that for the rest of your life? Use that money and invest it into something worthwhile. You know, and I don't know why you get 1K a week on unemployment. I mean, that is ridiculous. I mean, that's what I'm saying about this Western society is going to socialism. So you must be a socialist, Jack, because you're taking 1K in unemployment for what? I mean, you know, that's a benefit. Yeah, but you're still poor, though. I mean, let's be honest. 1K a week in Thailand is not a lot of money. I mean, actually in Thailand, that's a decent amount of money. But in USA, that's not a lot of money, bro. You can't do nothing with that. You know, I mean, I spend like 10K a week. But okay, well, more than that actually. But I can spend 10K in one day. I mean, but you know, that's business though. That's not like I don't spend that on watches and stuff. I want to though. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. The USA is a good country if you got a lot of money, but the USA is not really a good country if you ain't got money. I mean, 1K a week is not a lot of money, bro. You know, and you're unemployed. Like, if you use that money, like, what do you do with your time? You know, I mean, you know, the USA is just giving out money, and they say that Donald Trump is a real man. You know, he's a real capitalist. I mean, if Donald Trump was a real man, he would stop giving these socialist benefits. I mean, you know, Donald Trump really hasn't even done anything to, you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get into politics, but that guy hasn't really done anything. But anyway, you know, the USA, it does have social benefits, yes, as does other European countries. But ultimately, the money that they're giving you is not going to get you what you want. Whether it's dating, or whether it's like a lot of financial, you know, like nice cars, watches, you know. I want a Rolex that costs $20,000. You know, I want a Patek that costs 50,000. I want a Ferrari that costs 400,000. So I'm gonna need to make a lot of money. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, but if I do make that kind of money, I have to stay in the West as well. You know, I'm not gonna be in Asia if I'm making 10 million a year, or even 3, 4, 5 million a year. I'm not gonna be in Asia. You know, I'm not gonna be there. But yeah, man, that's the point. You gotta think about these things. Like, you gotta think about, why are you here? You know, I don't know how old you guys are, but you know, sometimes you gotta think about, why are you here? Because I think about, like, why am I here? What am I getting out of this society? And the answer is nothing. You know, I can have a much better life. And you know, you gotta touch on, you know, a lot of guys try to balance their dating and their working. There is really no balance. It's either you sacrifice one or the other, because of how brutal women are in today's modern Western society. Women will not wait on a guy to become successful. They will not, you know, if you tell women, you know what, I'll date you, but I'm only going to see you once a week for a few hours. I have to focus on my business. They're not going to accept it. So you have to go MGTOW monk. You have to go 100% MGTOW while you're working on your own self. Now a lot of guys don't do that, but that's why they're poor. See, women force men to be poor, or go what do you call it? Women force men to be poor or be celibate. That's what women do. Why can't a woman just say, you know what, this guy is working hard, he's you know, I'll just meet him once a week, and that's it. You know, they want the attention. Oh, let's go out to the movies. Oh, let's go out to, you know, eat. Oh, blah blah, all this bullshit. But that's not helping you in life, though. You see, this is the thing. Like, when I talk about sexism in the West, women's lives are so easy compared to us men. I'm not talking about attractive women. I'm not talking about ugly women. I'm not one of those clowns who say that ugly women have it easy. No, ugly women don't have it easy. They have it easier than men, but they don't have it easy. Ugly women are not living in luxury. You know, they're not walking around with Chanel bags, and unless they got rich parents or they're business minded, you know, driving Mercedes Benz brand new at 25. You know, I used to think that it was only the Paris Hiltons and the very rich and privileged, but a lot of these women, they're not even famous, and they're living this luxury life. And you know, it's a spit in the face to the men. I mean, it really is a spit in the face. I mean, women want to meet you in the finish line, not through the journey. Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing with women. I mean, you know, a lot of these guys are telling you, oh yeah, work on yourself and you're gonna get women. Well, you're gonna get women when you become a millionaire. You're not gonna get women when you're making 5,000 a month. You know, you're not. I mean, you know, that's a fantasy. Even if you go from 1,000 a month to 5,000 a month, women don't give a toss. Women don't give a toss if you even go from 1,000 to 10,000 a month. You know, they don't give a toss. That's the thing with women. You know, a lot of these guys, they don't realize how brutal women are to men. You know, women are literally making memes and making songs about how brutal they are towards men. Yes. Haven't you guys heard the song I'm a Savage? I haven't heard it, but I heard about it. You know, they're making songs and dances to say how brutal they are towards men. Their brutal and savage behavior towards men. They're laughing at us. I mean, you know, you can talk about all females are the same, but Western women are the worst, though. They're the ones doing that. Other women ain't really doing that. You know, I mean, at least I don't think they are. I haven't seen it. Maybe they are, but I haven't seen it. I mean, you know, talking about how brutal they are. How, you know, how they want to brutalize men. You know, they want to make men suffer. You know, it's just not, you know, it's not right. I mean, it's not right, you know. I'm not bashing all women. You know, there are some women that struggle in life, but You know, these attractive women are the most brutal. Like, and another thing, like, how are you gonna relate to women? I mean, okay, let's say you make a lot of money, right? What do you have in common with an attractive woman, though? Like, at least if you go to Asia or some poor third world country, at least those women have had to suffer somewhat in their life. You know, I'd rather date somebody who suffered. I don't want to, you know, these Western women, yeah, if you make millions, you're going to get hot women, but those women, you got nothing in common with them because you've had to suffer to get that in your life. They've just had it's been a cakewalk for them. So, you know, this is part of the issue that, you know, even when you make the money, you know, even when you become successful, you know, it's a situation where you're going to have to accept that you got nothing in common with them anyway. We need to take our power back and monk max. Well, you know, monk maxing, I don't really call it monk maxing, but, you know, I don't really call it monk maxing, but, you know, I know what you mean, man. You know, I mean, you know, the concept of incel, I mean, it's not really incel. You know, if you're not getting laid, you're putting something before women. You know, I don't really agree with incel, the concept of it, because these guys are not putting a lot of time into the dating scene. I know that for a fact. If they made women their ultimate goal, which I don't recommend, but if they made it, they will get something. You know, they're putting 10 hours a week into the dating scene. That's not enough, bro. That's not enough. You know, 10 hours a week is not enough to if you're a low tier, low S&B guy, bro. You gotta put way more time than that to get a girlfriend, and you have to be consistent. Stop indulging in social media, women. I don't. Yeah, but you know, you have to see what's around, though. You know, you have to see what's around. I mean, I don't want to not know what's around me. You know, I want to know what's around me. I want to know what it's like. I don't want to think that something is the way it's not, you know. Attractive women don't usually have personalities. Their personalities being attractive. Well, I mean, you know, they get it so easy in society. I mean, they're living lavish. I mean, the way that they're living, these are not even anything special. I mean, they're living so lavishly, and, you know, I'm living on the bare bones. You know, I'm talking about women my age, I mean, even younger. You know, I mean, the materialism is just going through the roof. I mean, I don't know where you guys live, but, you know, especially if you're in or near to a major city, I mean, women in the major cities or near to the major cities, the materialism is crazy. I mean, you know, $500 shoes at 16 years old, I mean, it's crazy. You know, it's absolute insanity. I mean, you know, it's just absolute insanity, bro. You know, you got these young girls like that. What's her name? That chick on the Dr. Phil. You know, that chick on the Dr. Phil, the bad baby, right? You know that chick, that chick, man. She's living lavish luxury. You know, that bitch is like, what, 16 or 17 years old. She's living in luxury. You know, spending $38,000 on some bullshit. I mean, you know, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. It's just insanity. You know, I mean, what do you have in common with attractive women? You know, what do you have in common with them? I mean, yeah, okay, so let's say I get rich. I get a Ferrari. Okay, I have a mansion. But what do I have in common with them? They have never struggled. They have never suffered. You know, that's why guys go to Brazil and get some girl out the slums. Because at least that chick in Brazil, at least she did it in her life. You know, you can relate a bit more to that. I mean, these other chicks, I mean, they ain't never suffered one day in their life, bro. I talked to attractive women before and the conversations were quite boring. Well, I mean, that's how it is. I mean, because they just sit back like a princess. I mean, you know, they're treated like, you know, the social media. I don't know how much impact social media has had, but people say it's had a massive impact. Their personality is Louis Vuitton and Gucci. I mean, this is what they're wearing. You know, these expensive brands. I mean, you know, they're wearing, I mean, I don't even have an expensive, not that I can't afford it, but I don't even have a top brand of clothing. You know, I mean, I don't have any, like, top designer. I don't have any Gucci, LV, you know, Balmain, you know, it's a French brand, Givenchy, you know, all these exotic names. I mean, you know, I don't have none of it, bro. I can afford a few pieces. I'm not saying that I'm broke, but, you know, my neighbor girl became a model and was taken to Paris. Wow. You see that? You see that? You see how they're being treated, man? You know, they're being treated way better than us. I mean, look, as a man, you ain't getting nothing, bro. You know, you ain't getting nothing as a man. I mean, you know, and these people, I mean, these women are getting treated way better than men in society. So why live in a society that discriminates against you for being a male? I mean, you know, I mean, because if feminism is true, then why rich women are not coming up to guys and dating them then? Why rich women are not buying men anything? Why is there only sugar daddy? You know, but there's not, you know, where are these women? There's plenty of rich, okay, there's not as many rich women as men, but they're going for other rich guys. You know, they're not doing it for men. So what? How can feminism be true then? You know, and if women believe in socialism, why are rich women not redistributing their wealth to poor men? You know, if women really believe, see, they don't even believe in it. Women don't really believe in feminism or socialism. They're just pretending to believe in it to their own benefit. You know, there's no redistribution of rich women's wealth. They only want redistribution of rich men's wealth so that they can spend it on Louis Vuitton and you know, these women have gone on, you know, how are these women going on so many trips? I mean, you know, they're going to Ibiza, they're going to Bali, Indonesia, they're going to Milan, they're going to Rome, they're going to Venice, they're going to Paris. How do they afford this stuff? These are not 35, 40-year-old, these are women in their early to mid-20s. You know, they're going to so many countries, you know, but they're not going there to live. They're going to stay in the West because the West is beneficial to them. You know, will there be a mass exodus? Will there be a mass exodus? How much longer can this keep going on? That's the real question. How much longer can this keep going on before, because, you know, if more men are becoming single, I don't know if it's really true, I don't have any statistics, but if more men are not having kids, if more men are being single, then that gives men the freedom to expatriate. How much longer before they close off the... Remember, I predicted travel bans last year. I didn't know that they were going to manufacture some fake virus. You know, I didn't know that they were going to manufacture some virus. I didn't know that. But what I did know is that the writing is on the wall that more men are going to expatriate. Because if men don't have kids, if men don't have, if they're not married, and we know that most men are priced out of marriage, even if you're making good money, you know, enough money to expatriate, you know, you're still not guaranteed a wife in today's society anymore. So if men are not married, if men don't have kids, what's really holding them? There's nothing really holding them. And that's why they're going to have to start instituting more travel bans. You know, and that's why I say if you want to get out, you're going to have to get out soon. You know, I don't want to put a time limit on it, but you're going to have to think about getting out soon, because if you don't think about getting out soon, what's going to happen is, you know, the travel, but they're going to be banned. You're not going to be able to ever go. That's what's going to really happen. I'm telling you that for a fact. That's going to happen. You know, because there's nothing keeping, you know, and I don't think these comments made by politicians are just out of the blue. Like when Donald Trump called these third world countries SHT holes, okay? When Donald Trump said that, I believe that Donald Trump said that to discourage people, to create negative sentiment towards other countries. That's why I believe he said that, because he's scared that people are going to leave the USA. You know, he's scared because the USA doesn't really offer anything to people. I mean, you know, most men in the USA aren't really living it up like that. Powerful chads in the leadership said so. Well, you know, the leadership is not really benefiting men. Is you know, but have they shot themselves in the foot? That's the question. Have they shot themselves in the foot? Because, you know, you got to keep men happy. I feel like, you know, if men aren't having families anymore, which I don't know how true that is, but if that's true that men aren't having families anymore, then they maybe have shot themselves in the foot. You heard of Hiding in My Room's OnlyFans. He can't get jobs in the future because of it. He does, and that's gonna flop. He can't get jobs from ages ago. Before that, you know, he can't get jobs because when you put his name his name is Daniel Lord, Daniel Lord. When you put his name into Google, which they all Google, you know, they say that he's a pedophile. You know, I mean, just do it. You know, I mean, they say that he's, you know, some weirdo. You know, there's no way he's gonna get any job. I mean, the thing is with Hiding in My Room is that, you know, he doesn't want to work. He hates work. He doesn't have any work ethic. You know. So, I mean, women at the end of the day, you know, they're controlling the society. Let them have it. You know, let them have it, man. You know, let them have it. I mean, it's not that hard to expatriate. All you need is a small online business. You don't even need to be, you know, you can even do drop shipping. I'm not a big fan of drop shipping, but even that will get the job done. You know, you can do, you know, you need just a small online business, some savings, or you need to get your TEFL, which is easy to get. If you're from UK, USA, Ireland, Canada, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, you can get your TEFL and go to a country and teach English. You know, that's all you have to do, man. It's not hard. You know, and you are in a position whereby you can expatriate. You know, these guys that tell you, oh, expatriating is so hard. No, it's not hard. It's not hard to expatriate. I could have expatriated in 2018, and I only started online business in 2016. So that was 2 years, and that was 2 years of not even working. That was back when I was still playing a lot of video games. I wasn't even working properly back then. You know. Do you believe the feminist hedonistic women will be lonely in their 30s and 40s? Well, they will be if men leave the West. Yes. If the thing is that, you know, the women can change, and the women will have to change because of the upcoming economic depression. Have you heard the headlines that women have been forced to sleep with their landlords, otherwise they'll be kicked out during the pandemic? These single mothers who think they can just do what they want and push their weight around is coming to an end. It's coming to an end because the economic depression will finish off single mothers for good. Single mothers will be forced to submit to men, or men with money, not these incel guys. Not these incel. These incel guys will not have anything. These incel guys will be at the bottom with women, but the men with the power, like men who own real estate, who own properties, who are renting them out to women, or men who women work for them, they have the power over women. Because the thing is, if 50% of people become unemployed, if women don't get their money, you know, I mean, there was one video on World Star Hip Hop. The girl was like, how am I supposed to feed my kids? Everything is closed. And you're going to start seeing these videos throughout this economic depression. And like I say, every cloud has a silver lining. These women think, oh yeah, I'm living it up, I'm living it up. This living it up, this fantasy, this women's good life is coming to an end. The economic depression will put an end to women's, you know, lifestyles. It'll put an end to it. They think that they're gonna, you know, be living it forever. These single mothers, I mean, single mothers are not really having good lives. You know, single mothers are not really having good lives, but they're still treating men. I mean, on dating sites, I mean, these single mothers are the most angry, rude. You know, I mean, you guys have spoken to these single mothers on dating sites? I mean, they're like 5 out of 10 in looks. I mean, you can't get away with it when you're 5 out of 10. The only way you're getting away with it is because in this society, men don't have any power. But men's power is going to come back. It's going to come back. You know, I mean, you can have your dominion over women if you are doing well economically throughout the Depression. You will have your dominion. You know, you will have your dominion, because the reality of the situation is, in an economic depression, women will have to change. This economic depression is going to hit women harder than it's going to hit men. You know, that's what the experts are predicting. And if that is indeed the case, women will be forced to change, or they will suffer. They will suffer. I used a dating app once to see how it was, and the 3 out of 10 land will said I'm not over 6 foot, so I can't get with her. And I was LARPing as a 5'10" Chad. Well, I mean, you know, I think that height thing, I mean, I don't think that height thing is that much of a big deal. I mean, you may have encountered that. I mean, you know, but the thing is, with the height thing, I mean, we see manless with women all the time. I mean, the height thing is just a joke, because I'm 6 feet tall, and 90% of men with women are shorter than me. So it's not the height thing. They're just trolling. I mean, they can't even get those guys. And, you know, I mean, land wills are still not desired in society. I mean, you know, these guys will tell you that land wills are desired, but yet, if land wills are desired, then why you don't see any men that get women dating them? You only see men who struggle with women dating them. That means that they're undesirable. You know, but I mean, if you go to a country like Vietnam has like 3% obesity, something like that. I mean, you know, even if you can't get attractive women, you're still not going to have to date fat women. People are dating fat women because they're not exploring the expatriating option. You know, they're not exploring the expatriation option. Single men have that option. If you got no kids, if you got no, you know, wife, you got that option to expatriate. It's not that hard. A lot of these people tell, oh, it's hard, you need so much money. You don't need so much money, because you can live out there for as little as $600 to $800 a month. Now, if you want to live a bit better, $1,000. If you want to live more, $2,000, $3,000. But on a base lifestyle, $600 to $800 a month will do it for you. You don't need much money, you know. I mean, it's not hard to start an online business and make some income. Just make sure you got a few thousand in the bank. Sorry. Just make sure you got a few thousand in the bank. Is heightism a thing of the millennials? I don't believe heightism is a major issue that's affecting men, because the reality of the situation is, you know, heightism, yes, if you're incredibly short, you will be affected, but the thing is with heightism is that most men who are short are not reporting a discrimination. If heightism was true, the men who are short would be reporting a discrimination. You know, most short men are not saying that they're being discriminated against. They're not saying that, you know, because it's not true. You know, that's the thing. I mean, you can sit there and say, oh, I'm too short to get women, but yet there's guys shorter than you with women. I mean, look at Squirmy and Grubbs. I mean, Squirmy and Grubbs is getting married. You know, Shane Burkow, that guy, that deformed, you know, that deformed, you know, spinal dystrophy, whatever he got, you know, that guy in a wheelchair, bro. That guy's getting married. I mean, you know, that's crazy, man, what this society has got to, man. But, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, man, you know, your age is very important. Ageism is a big factor in the dating scene. I mean, I'm telling you, if you're in your 30s and you're not getting women, you're done, bro. I'm sorry, but you're done in the West. You have to expatriate. I mean, there's no way you're gonna, unless you become a multi-millionaire, which most of you guys, aren't ambitious enough to even become a and you don't work hard enough. It's very hard to become a multi-millionaire, but your 30s is really the time when you're not facing age discrimination. If I was in my 30s right now, my dating options would be multiplied very much. But the thing is, if you get to your 30s and you're not established, you're going to be discriminated, yes. But that's your own fault, though. It's not like you haven't had the time. A lot of people just don't want to establish themselves. Well, if you don't want to establish yourself, then don't, go MGTOW then. Well, you can't really go MGTOW because you're not really meeting the requirements for MGTOW, but you can just be single. Just be single. I mean, I got rejected by girls taller than me. That's it. Well, girls taller than you will reject you because they want a guy taller than them. But that's with most girls. They want a guy taller than them. They don't want a 6'3". 6'3" isn't really a benefit because the average girl is only 5'4" or 5. So if the average girl is only 5'4" or 5, 5'8" or 9 will cut the bill for most women. It will. 5'8" and 9 will cut the bill for most women. That's just the reality. How do I transform that into 7 digits? Bro, I don't know, man, to be honest with you. I mean, if you want to make a lot of money, bro, you're gonna have to basically look. These things are. Yeah, if you want to make a lot of money, bro, you're basically gonna have to find out a formula that works. Most of these online gurus, they're not going to give you a really formula. They're going to give you an outline, but they're not going to give you a complete formula that works. They're not going to tell you exactly what to do step by step. You have to find it out for yourself, bro. It took me years to make a livable income. Now I could have done that in less time. I could have done that in 6 months probably, but it still takes time to make a livable income. But once you find a formula that works, then what you do is you just scale it up, you replicate it. And once you have a business, an income, then you outsource it. Outsource that income to other people. They will do the work. You will teach them the system. They will do the work. And you will now look for another stream of income and do the same thing. So that's how you're going to become rich. You can do stuff like acquisitions, where you buy up companies, you buy up businesses, right? And you get them going again. You get them businesses going again, man. But you don't do it yourself. This is called Dan Pena. Dan Pena teaches this method. It's also taught by some other people. You do acquisitions, okay? I personally haven't done any acquisitions yet, but so yeah, man. I mean, look, this Western society is either you get rich or you go. It's that simple, man. Get rich or go. Get rich or die trying. 50 Cent made that. I don't know if he came up with that, but he popularized it. It's the truth. You have to get rich or die trying, bro. Because a lot of you guys are never going to get hot women. You're never going to get nice cars. And some of you guys must say, well, but they care about. You must care about. I mean, there's nothing for. Even living off the grid. Living off the grid is 100,000 to live off the grid nicely. I mean, you need money for everything in this world. Even if you want to preach the word of God, you need money to do that. You need money to do everything. Relationships are overrated. Well, of course, relationships are overrated because they don't last. They don't last, and it's all about pleasing the women anyway. Women are not dreaming about pleasing men. Now, in other countries, women are dreaming about pleasing men. In Southeast Asia, in Southeast Asia, they put sand in their VJ. Okay, this is actually what they do. You can look this up. There are women in the Southeast Asia that put sand in their VJ to make it more satisfying for men. I don't know if that works, but you know, there are women out there in other countries that like to make a man happy. You know, because that's how they were raised in their culture. You know. But I mean, look, if you want to go over to Thailand and get a wife, you may have to pay 10,000. You know, you may have to pay 10,000, but I mean, it's still way cheaper than West. I mean, the West you're paying 50,000 or more. I mean, you know, at least 30,000 minimum. You know. So I mean, you know, that's the thing. I mean, you know, I just feel like overall, man, you know, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to be out there, you know, in the Asia, man. I mean, you know, I feel like if I went to Asia, bro, I would already be, you know, I mean, because when you go to Asia or any third world country, you go from poor to rich. Like I said the last time, the easiest way to go from poor to rich is just to go from, you know, a first world country to a third world country. Your money is multiplied by 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20 times, depending on where you go. But your money is multiplied. You know? I want to multiply my money. If an incel say they're introverts, they're lying. A real introvert hates being around people in general. Well, I mean, look, I don't know about what their life is like. But I know that a lot of these guys are lying to the people, telling you that it's about charge, it's about this. It's not about charge. I mean, you know, charge have no impact over the dating scene. You know, it's just a way to justify your failure, because when you're a failure, you have to justify why you're a failure. Now, they don't want to admit that it's their own fault, because, you know, let's be honest, it's a competition. You know, dating is a competition. It's like if I start up a business right now, I can't then go and blame the customer and say, why are you not supporting my business? You're discriminating against me, and create some fictional term that you're being discriminated against. No, it's not discrimination. It's the fact that you're not appealing to the customers. The same thing with these guys. They don't want to do what it takes to appeal to these women. You know, dating means you have to appeal to the women. That's how you compete. If you don't agree that you have to appeal to women, then that's why you're an incel. You know, that's why you're an incel. You know, you can blame anything else, but the reality is it's a competition. Go and ask these people, what are they doing to get a woman? And ask them, how much time are they investing into the dating scene? I guarantee you, they put more time into video games, they put more time into anime, they put more time into, you know, other stuff than they do into women. So, okay, so you're not doing what it takes, you're not putting the time in, well, somebody else is. And that's why they're getting the results and you're not. That's why. You know, that's how it works. You know, if you're not putting the time in, how are you going to compete? If you don't have anything that's appealing, how are you going to compete? You're not. You know, you're not going to be able to compete. Because at the end of the day, women are going to pick and choose. Men are not picking and choosing unless they got options, which most don't have. But you can pick and choose if you expatriate. If you expatriate, you can pick and choose, because when you expatriate, you are an exotic guy. You know, you're different. You've got money. You know. So you as a guy, you know, you've got something exclusive about you. You've got something that, you know, maybe, you know, not every woman wants it, but you've got something that some women want. You see, here in the West, as a man, there's nothing really special about you. You're just walking around, nobody gives a toss, you know. Not unless you got fame. Not unless you're dressed in a very extravagant way. You know, you're wearing ice watch. You know, and you got diamonds, and you know you're dressed in such a way that you look like you're worth $1 million. You know, or you got fame. Nobody really looks. Nobody really cares. If you expatriate, you know, you're a unique guy. You know, you're somebody who, you know, you got something about you. You got that, what do they say in French, that je ne sais quoi. You know, you got something about you. You know, over here in this society, you ain't got nothing about you. You know, which is why you have to talk to hundreds or thousands of women to get a girlfriend. You know, you have to talk to hundreds or thousands of women to get a girlfriend. You know, because you ain't got nothing about you. It's not your fault. It's women. The fact that women, you know, they just don't see the qualities of men behind the outward, you know, what they perceive the man to be. You know, I mean, women don't really care about, you know, you're working on yourself. You know, you're trying to be successful. They just don't care. If you show a woman, yeah, I'm successful, and you know, that's what you can do when you become famous or rich. You're gonna post it on your social media story. You know, you post it on your social media story that you've just bought a Ferrari, you've just come out of the, you know, you think women ain't gonna message you. Try it. Become wealthy and try it. You know, just buy a Ferrari and drive out and put it on your story and say, just bought this Ferrari. I guarantee you, women are going to start messaging you. But when you say, because women are men, you know, when you say, yeah, I'm going to be rich, women don't believe you. You know, they don't even respect you, to be honest with you. You know, even your own mother don't believe you. You know, women just don't believe in men, and that's why you shouldn't date women when you're trying to become, because women will destroy your goals. You know, you can't afford to date women if you're ambitious. You can't. You know, you can't afford to date women if you're ambitious. Most men will not achieve anything because they're trying to get women. They're in a relationship. You're better off going to prostitutes. And I'm not an advocate of prostitution, but you're better off going to prostitutes, to be honest with you. You're better off going to prostitutes than trying to, you know, get into a relationship, because you're not going to achieve anything, because women don't believe in you. Women don't believe that you're going to be a multi-millionaire. Now, there are some, you know, there are some, but it's 1 in a million, bro. You know, you have that one guy, Conor McGregor. You guys know Conor McGregor. You know, Conor McGregor was with that girl in Ireland before he became famous. He was some bum, you know, in Ireland. But he was, you know, she believed in him. But most women don't believe in men. You know, most women don't believe in men. That's why that guy on that song, that guy that made that song, Donald Trump, you know, that guy that died, his name is Mac Miller. He made a song called Donald Trump. He said in this song, right, he said, bitches on my D, I'm not going to say the word, that used to brush me off in high school. Let me say that again. He said, bitches on my D that used to brush me off in high school. What does that mean? That means that in high school, he couldn't get any women. But because he became famous, so women didn't believe in him. Women didn't say, you know, you can rap. You're going to become famous. But then he got to date Ariana Grande. He wouldn't have got that if he didn't become famous. So women don't believe in men. So what's the point of even dating women? There's no point. You might as well just not date any women until you become a millionaire. If you don't become a millionaire, then just go expatriate. You know, there's no point of dating women. I mean, they're just going to destroy you anyway. Especially if you have kids. If you have kids, you're finished. You know, McGregor was on benefits. Yeah, he was on benefits. You know, but he got lucky that that woman believed in him. You know, he got lucky that that woman, most women don't believe in anything. You can tell a woman, you can do work 80 hours a week, 100 hours. They don't give a shit. They don't even believe you're going to try. You know, they don't believe you. Tupac mentioned that. I don't know what he said, man. He said no woman even looked his way, but after he got famous, they couldn't keep their composure around him. Even that guy, that stupid tattooed guy, that Takashi guy, he said that women used to leave him on red. Women used to reject him. They used to leave, he used to message them. They didn't even respond to the guy. You know, that rainbow colored hair, that crazy guy, you know, that make those, he's just shouting at people, you know, that crazy guy from New York. Him, they used to just leave him on the red. They didn't even respond to the guy, you know. But now, so there's no point, you know, there's no point of even trying to get women, you know. You're just better off going to prostitutes. I don't support prostitutes, by the way, but it's better off than trying to get women, because they're not going to help you towards getting to your goals, man. You know, I mean, you can't build with a woman. I mean, maybe 50 years ago you could build with a woman. You can't build nothing with a woman. You know, you got to have something about you first. You know, maybe if you got 100,000 in the bank and you're trying to become a millionaire, they might accept. But if you're just some average Joe, man, you know, the average Joe in the society is just a loser to women. You know, women see the average Joe as a loser. They don't value the average Joe. First MGTOW, he had a rape allegation. Who's that first MGTOW? Are you talking about the first? Who's the first MGTOW? I don't know who that is. You know, not that I had women interested in me in the first place. Well, women ain't really interested in most men. I mean, you have to put the time. See, the thing is, you know, women are not going to do anything until you actually, you know, do something for them first. You know, women are very selfish. I mean, you know, women are not just, you know, going and approaching a guy because he's a nice guy. I mean, you know, that's not the case. I mean, you have to do something first. Even the oofy doofy guys. The oofy doofy guys, I've spoken to oofy doofy, and I was doing an experiment, and the oofy doofy guys had to create attraction over time with these women. These women, you know, these oofy doofy guys, I don't really know what they're doing, but they are creating attraction over time with these women. Because I spoke to some women, and they said, you know, I wasn't attracted to this guy initially, but as time went by, the attraction grew. I don't know what they do, but they're putting in a lot of effort and time into these women. You're putting time into women, but you got to ask the question, how much time are women putting into you, though? You know, this is the thing. You're just screwing yourself over by dating in this Western society. I mean, at least in other countries, you know, women will give men the time of day before they're established. I mean, if you're not established, you're picking off scraps. You're picking scraps off the table. I mean, you know, you're feeding off scraps. I mean, even 4 out of 10 women on dating site think that they're better than you. You know, because female privilege in this society. Anyone that builds with a woman probably met her in high school. Maybe they did. Maybe they did meet her in high school. You know, maybe they did meet her in high school. But the thing is, with high school, I mean, high school, you know, the women out there, yeah, they're easy to get, but, you know, it's not, I mean, it's a waste of time as well. Because, you know, who do you talk to from high school, man? I mean, most of those women from high school, and the women that liked you in high school would reject you now anyway. You know, that's a funny thing, that they will reject you now. You know, I might try that and see if they would accept me, but I know they will reject me anyway. You know, which is fine. You know, I don't dislike women for rejecting men, but at the end of the day, I mean, you know, why are they complaining then? You know, I mean, women will hit the wall. I know some people like to say that women don't hit the wall, but women do hit the wall. I mean, if we're being honest here, I mean, you know, you just have to look at the reality. You know, you just have to look at the reality that women, as they get older, do become less valuable in society. You know, I mean, you know, look at Britney Spears. You think Britney Spears is still desired? I remember Britney Spears was once the hottest, considered to be the hottest woman on the planet. Now she's been replaced. You know, Britney Spears can't get any hot guys. And when I say hot guy, I'm not talking about some looks. I'm talking about, you know, Britney Spears has to date nobodies. The biggest pop star in the world at one point has to go and date nobodies. But you see, with men, it's different. I mean, you look at, you know, men, like successful men, they do have a far longer, how do you say? I don't know the word. Shelf life is not the right best word, but it's a word I can use. Successful men have a longer shelf life. You know, I was watching one video. This 67-year-old guy was dating a 23-year-old blonde. Have you seen this couple? This 67-year-old guy. He's an old, wrinkly old man. He's dating a 23-year-old blonde. I mean, it shows you how selfish women are. I mean, women are selfish. They don't care what they're doing to young men. These younger women don't care what they're doing to young men, because young men have it very bad in the dating scene. You know, I mean, young men have it very, very bad in the dating scene because younger women are just going for older men. You know, I mean, you know, and most of those guys, I mean, if you look at the couples on YouTube, most of those guys in their 20s that got married, they got money about them, bro. You know, women won't marry a guy nowadays who ain't got money. That stuff is done. You know, my friend been with his girl. I think the connection is stronger if it starts then. What, in high school? Well, I mean, that's gone beyond us now. So I mean, that's my friend been with his girl since they were 13. Well, I mean 13, but that's, I don't know if that really works, bro. To be honest, 13 is too young. I mean, you know, take the high school sweetheart. I mean, let's be honest. Most of the girls that liked you in high school were not even that attractive. You probably rejected girls in high school. You know, I never had 5 or anything above a 6 even interested in me. I mean, you know, the hot chicks, I mean, I don't even know how to get hot chicks, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, I don't. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You know, I mean, but you're gonna, you know, if you're not getting hot chicks now, I mean, you know, you're gonna have to either expatriate or make a lot of money or become famous. I mean, you know, even autistic guys can get women through fame. I mean, you know, autism is not a dead sentence. I mean, if you can become famous, you know, becoming famous is actually the solution. You know, why do these guys never talk about being famous? Think about it. I mean, being famous is a solution. I mean, you know, it's a solution to your problems. I mean, you know, if you become famous, you're not gonna, you solve the money problem, you solve the dating problem. Unless you got bad morals, you know, and you take drugs and kill yourself, or you do some crazy stuff, you know, being famous is a solution. I mean, to be honest with you, you know, nobody ever talks about becoming famous. Like, why don't they talk about becoming famous? I mean, it is a solution. You know, if you, through fame and money, Dane drops, he's fat and bald, he gets all these women in. Well, you know, there's guys like that. I mean, you know, I remember watching that video by Nonya Basness, and it was about that guy Boogie, that fat slob Boogie 2988. I mean, that dude, he gets women, bro. You know, that dude is disgusting, bro. He's a fat, disgusting, sloppy, you know, guy. When you want, you can't have, and what you want, you can have, you don't want. Women have the same problem, but exponential higher. But you can if you become famous, though. You know, I mean, you can if you become famous. I mean, you know, if I became famous, you think women wouldn't be throwing themselves at me? And they would be. I mean, you know, now do I want to become famous? No, I don't want the fame. But if you become rich, you can date low-tier celebrities as well. You know, I mean, if you become rich, you can date like some low-tier celebrities, some singers that were famous 10 years ago, or some, you know, some reality TV star that ain't really, nobody cares about you, but they still look good though. I mean, you can date those women if you got money. You know, I mean, some guys will say, oh, you're beta boxing, you're beta. There's a new form of beta boxing. I'm going to talk about that. That might be my next live stream. where I talk about the new form of beta box, because beta box is not what they call it to be. It's not you just give a woman and say, oh yeah, go and buy yourself a BMW. That's not how it works nowadays. So that's going to be my next, maybe my next one. And I got another one that I have to do called, what's it called? Why women shouldn't raise their standards. So why women shouldn't lower their standards. You know. Boogie got women when he was in his 20s. I mean, that fast, sloppy guy, Boogie, I mean, Boogie don't deserve, I mean, you know, that guy, he's a weirdo as well. I mean, you know, he's not a normal guy, he's a weirdo. You know. He's a straight up weirdo, that Boogie. You know. I mean, making that, hey, my name is Francis. Francis, you know, what's it called? Like, hey guys, I'm Francis. You know, that guy is a weirdo, man. Doing all those skits and all that. You know, some fat guy, you know, breaking his Xbox. That's how I found that guy. I mean, these guys are weird in the gaming community, bro. You know, but all these gamers, these FaZe, you know, FaZe, what's that FaZe? FaZe Banks. You know, FaZe Banks is not a child, but why is he getting hot women? Because he's famous. You know, I was watching this one guy, you know KSI brother, Deji. This is some man-led goofy guy, and he's dating some hot chick. You know, the guy is like a 4 in looks, bro. I'm way better looking than this guy, and this guy's dating a 8 or 9 even. I mean, it's fame. I mean, fame is a solution, guys. You guys are saying that, you know, if you become famous, man, you're gonna get hot women. I mean, that's the truth. Yeah, Deji is a man-child. He's a weirdo, but he's getting hot. Have you seen that girlfriend that he got? You know, have you seen his girlfriend that he got, man? You know, so that means that fame does work. Why do these guys not want to talk about fame? You know, so, oh, she just with you for your fame. So what? So what? You know? So what if they just with you for your fame? Do you care? Are those guys crying themselves to sleep? Oh, she just, you know, these guys who say that stuff, they are too romantic, bro. They like these women who sit with the daffodil. She loves me not. She loves me. Who gives a shit? You know, who cares? I don't care. You know, I mean, you know, these guys are like, you know, you think I care if I become a multimillionaire and I post my Ferrari and those girls are coming to me? I don't care, because at the end of the day, I still earned it though. At the end of the day, you're going to have to earn a woman in this society. There's no you don't earn a woman. Even if you say the chat is true. Okay, the chat did look maxing though. He did look maxing, he went to the gym. He still earned the woman. The chat is not true though, but let's assume that it's true. He still earned the woman, because when he gets old, he's not going to get women, is he? When he's 45, 50 years old, his look is gone away. So he's going to have to still make money. He's going to still have to become famous. So, you know, it's one of them things. I mean, you know, if you're not seeking out fortune and fame, man, you got to expatriate. I want to make that very clear. If you're not seeking out fortune and fame, you're going to have to expatriate. There's no other option for you, you know, if you want to date. I don't know if my subscriber base is MGTOW or majority, because even if you're MGTOW, I'm talking about 100% MGTOW who doesn't want anything to do with women. I'm not 100% MGTOW. You know, I might become it. You know, I might become it, but oh my God, not this guy, bro. You're that guy, this Yeshua guy, bro. I don't take you seriously, bro. I was gonna block you from my channel. You know, you're one of them crazies, bro. Go to this guy's channel and look what this guy. You know, you're one of them crazy dudes, bro. You're talking about aliens and all that crap, bro. This is a realistic channel, and you calling me delusional. Ain't you that guy that said the world is coming to an end? You one of them lunatics who talk about the doomsday and all. You're a lunatic, Yeshua, bro. Don't come here and call me delusional, bro. Look at your channel compared to mine, bro. Your channel is garbage, bro. Don't come here and start insulting me, bro. Like, I didn't say nothing to you. I let you come on my channel and I was respectful to you. And now you're coming to here and calling me. That's why, you know, I'm just going to start blocking people, man. And that's why I'm going to start blocking people. I was respectful to you when you came and wrote some comments. I didn't come and make fun of you. But now you want to say, and I'm delusional. What am I saying that's wrong? You're talking about aliens, bro. You're talking about doomsday and the world is gonna end. You know, you think I don't remember? I remember everything people say. I remember even when Just James told me about how he spent thousands on a nose job. You know, Just James, he's lying that he couldn't afford to move out. This guy took steroids, which is about about 3,000 a year or something like that. On top of that, he spent 3,000 on a nose job in Lithuania. On top of that, right? On top of that, he went 2 trips to go and visit this girl in Italy. This guy must have spent about 10,000 on trying to get laid. I mean, how pathetic. You go to get a nose job thinking that you're gonna get laid. I mean, these guys are just not realistic, bro. You know, a lot of these guys, like my channel is realistic, bro. You know, getting famous can't be a viable solution for the masses, men. So can being a millionaire be a viable solution? It's not about the masses, bro. I'm not saying become a Hollywood movie star. You know, I'm not saying, did I say become, if I was saying just become the next Brad Pitt, yeah, that's delusional. When I say become famous, you don't have to be a movie star, bro. Look at Graham Stephan. Graham Stephan has got some fame about him. You know, Graham Stephan is a manlet. He's got some money and some fame about him. You know, look at all these guys on YouTube. You know, look at all these guys on TV, social media. This is, you know, it's not that getting famous is more easier than ever before because people are glued to their phones. People are glued to their, exactly, Graham Stephan got a Model GF and Graham Stephan is like 5'2" or 5'4". He's a manlet, super manlet. You know, they're saying that because people like this guy, he doesn't want you to get women. He doesn't want you to become rich. He wants you to be a doomer like him who wants to talk about the world ending and doomsday. You know, these guys are delusional. You know, they want other men to suffer. They are anti-male, you know, because they will bash you for saying to other men to get famous, but yet their solution is wait for the doomsday to come. Yeah, wait for the doomsday. Yeah, like what did they say? What was that date that they say the world was going to end on? 2012. This doomsday, the world was going to end. Did the world end? No, it didn't, you stupid moron. You people are retarded, man. Is this a realistic way to look at life? That I'm waiting for the doomsday to come, but I'm the delusional guy, right? You people are finished, man. You gotta expatriate. See, people like this guy, he's the kind of guy who has to expatriate because he has no chance in the society. You know, he has no chance, bro. I wish I could do a stream hiking like he's doing on the streets. At least I would have some company. Yeah, but most of the time I don't have any company though. It's only because I'm doing this at night. You know, because my channel is not really growing. You know. But I mean, you gotta have something to talk about that's interesting. But yeah, man, I think a lot of young guys should seek out becoming famous. Look at Tyler One. You know, Tyler One has autism. You know, he has autism. He's a manlet. Yeah, he's got muscles, but that doesn't make up for it. Autism doesn't, having muscles doesn't make up for being an autistic manlet. You know, it doesn't. But yet he's getting hot chicks though. Okay, he's only got one girlfriend, but she still looks decent though. She's still like a 7. You know. And he's a weirdo, bro. But he made it in the gaming industry. Young guys have a lot of options. You can try to become a professional, you know, a gamer, streamer. You can try to become, you know, and the thing is, like, there's a lot of industries, bro. You know, there's a lot of industries. What the hell is that? Is that the pot? Oh no, I don't know. No, I don't know what that is, man. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of industries that you can get involved in. You know, there's a lot of spaces where women are in those spaces, man. You know, it's no longer this. The world has become more, how do you say, accessible for the average person to become famous. All these dorks, you know, all these dorks that are big in the gaming industry, like the FaZe and all those people, those guys were not getting They were not, famous. They would have had no chance in the 80s and 90s. It's a lot easier to get famous today. I'm not saying for myself because I don't want the fame. To be honest with you, I can't handle the fame. My thing is to just get rich, and that would be enough for me. But if you really want the women, if you really want the power, you get fame, man. It don't matter what you look like. Honestly, it don't matter what you look like, bro. You can look like Boogie, you can look like Deji, you can look like, Graham Stephan. Graham Stephan's not bad looking, but he's very short, though. You can be, it's not that hard, bro. It's not that hard to go out there and, who else is there? Who else is there? That dude who made the video about being ugly. Even him. Yeah. Even that Swedish guy. And he's hideous, bro. I mean, I'm not trying to bash him, but, his girlfriend is ugly as well, but the point is that even him, he got a female. And I'm way better looking than that guy. That's the thing. I'm not bashing the guy. He seemed like a decent guy, but he's very ugly, though. He looks like Jar Jar Binks. The dude looks like Jar Jar Binks, bro. Have you guys watched? Have you guys watched the Star Wars? I think it's episode 1 or is it episode 2 with Jar Jar Binks, bro. Look at Jar Jar Binks and look at that guy. He looks like Jar Jar Binks, man. And he's still got a girlfriend. So, you have to put yourself out there. You have to put yourself out there, man. That's the only way you're going to get something in this Western society. That's the only way. If you become famous or very rich, it's not going to work. Even if you get a girlfriend, you're not going to hold on to her, bro. It's too competitive in today's society. Because look, yeah, if you get rich, you're going to lose your girlfriend as well. But, Just James doesn't really have a girlfriend. Because Just James, Just James has a girlfriend, but he doesn't see her like that, It's just the Phantom Menace, bro. Jar Jar Binks, bro. What's that guy's name, bro? That ugly guy. It's funny that you mentioned him because I was watching Lauren Chen response to that, to that one, But even Lauren Chen, that guy that she's with ain't that, he ain't a child. I think she looks better than the guy that she's with. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Lauren Chen looks better than her husband? I think she's married now. I think she looks better than that guy. That guy is not all that special. He ain't a child. So all this stuff about looks, looks don't mean nothing when you're famous, bro. Why did that Dunya girl choose that man, goofy guy Deji? Why did she choose that guy if it's about looks? Because, your looks don't mean nothing when there's people out there with fame. There's people out there with a lot going for them, man. It don't mean nothing. If you're trying to go at the dating scene with your looks, you're making a mistake. You're making a big mistake if you're trying to use your looks, man. But anyway, let me finish this soon, man. I gotta put these videos together and then I gotta upload it, man. But yeah, man. If you got any more questions, I'll answer them quickly. But that's what I'm saying, man. You gotta seek out to become successful, man. You can't just say, I want to be an average Joe. This is 2020. The financial depression may change things. The financial depression may change things, but you're still going to need to have money and power. You're still going to need to be in real estate. You're still going to need to, have something going for you. You need to be an employer. You need to have real estate. You need to have something. Otherwise, you're not going to have any pulling power with women. And, I know a lot of you guys care about women. I don't really care about women that much because at the end of the day, for me personally, I know I'm going to be a multimillionaire anyway, so why would I care about women? Anyway, Tom Leykis kept bragging. Well, Tom Leykis is a real MGTOW though, because Tom Leykis actually can get women, with his money. What do you mean stocks? You know, stocks. What do you mean stocks, man? I don't know what you mean by that. You know, I'm just telling you guys the truth, man. At the end of the day, I know a lot of guys hate my guts. You know, from some of these communities. You know, a lot of these guys hate my guts. But the thing is with me is that I'm being honest with people. I mean, I'm not selling you some fantasy that there's some group of guys occupying the dating market. You know, that's why you can't get a woman. I mean, that's a fantasy. You know, that's a real fantasy that there's a group of guys occupying the women. There's enough women to go around, but the issue is, is that most women are not. They want a guy who's going to cater to their needs. They're not looking to cater to a guy's needs. That's the problem. I mean, if you're not willing to just put her on a pedestal and just, play her game, that's why you're not getting results. Now, she's only willing to play on your level if you got a lot of power. You got fame and fortune. If you got fame and fortune, then women will submit to it. Women will submit to fame and fortune, but women are refusing to submit to guys who do not have fame and fortune. That's the thing. You look at a lot of these guys, these guys who became successful, they dated hot younger women throughout their whole life, because of their fame and fortune. We've got a lot of guys who, they're old guys now and they're still getting results. But yeah, man, where there's a girl like that gets with an average looking dude. Yeah, average looks, average looking doesn't mean he's average. You've got to judge as a whole package. A lot of these guys, they have qualities that you may not see, but women are seeing it. We will be old or dead then, probably. Well, you know what? I don't think so, man. I got another, I see myself having another 70 years, man, maybe, or 60 at least, bro. Submit lady, LOL. I don't know what you mean by that, man. But yeah, man, life is not short, life is long, bro. When people tell you life is short, they're trying to fool you, bro. If life is short, then why am I not even 30 yet and I've still got so much more left? I've got more gas in the tank, bro. I've got a lot of gas in the tank. Life is a very long life for most people. We're not living in the 17th century, bro. Life is a very long, and that gives you an opportunity to come back. You can be down at the dumps. I was down at the dumps 2 years ago. I came back. This is my comeback. This is my comeback. This is my shot. I'm not, but some people, they're not gonna make it. The Virgin Messiahs and the Just James of the world, they're gonna have to expatriate, man. They're gonna have to expatriate because that's the only option for them. If they don't expatriate, then they never ever gonna reproduce their seed. They never ever going to be anything but a bottom of the barrel loser. Is the Unreal Man here, the truth, the man is still. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. And make sure to hit that notification bell so you're informed every time I upload a new video.